don't know. See who we welcome to. Learn to guard your privacy. Chat filter. Well, can I share this? Facebook. Let's see if anybody's with me here. See if anybody has a question about, oh, what happened? See, mode. Will that work? Maybe.
Songs that proclaim God's amazing grace on Family Radio.
See if anybody catches me live for a little bit. But I was just thinking about if I was to be in a strategy session with a gambler, what would be important for the gambler? I think the gambler, if the gambler is willing enough to, connect with me, per se, right? I mean, it could be me, it could be another life coach or counselor. That's a very, very, that's a good start. That's a positive start if a person reaches out to another person for help. Because most of us don't, most gamblers do not, most gamblers feel stuck. Gamblers feel stuck, so it's just, I guess when you're gambling and you're having problems, you're losing money, obviously you're not thinking right. Your mind is not proper. It's really hard for you to understand that you want to stop gambling. You really do want to stop gambling. Deep down inside, I mean, I believe every gambler that has a problem with gambling, deep down inside, they all would say, yeah, I would love to stop gambling. Man, I would love to just stop this thing and be able to save my money and live, good every day, a good life every day. Getting the gambler from that thought, that space of thinking, to the reality of doing, that is where the challenge is. That's where the true challenge is getting the gambler. I mean, right now you might be a gambler watching this live cast. You might be watching. I see there's quite a few people watching. Thank you for. And I was just thinking about, if I was sitting in front of you and you're a problem gambler, if you're coaching with me, right? If you're having a brainstorming session, a strategy session with me, what would I be saying to you? What would you be saying to me during that session? That's what's really important. What are you saying? Well, excuse me, maybe you don't really know what it is that you're trying to say. You don't know what it is that you're trying to say. You want something. You want a better life. Somehow, some way, somewhere, as fast as possible, I imagine, you want a better life. Again, if you're sitting in front of me, I'm going to help understand that. That's what you want. That's what you're seeking. Most gamblers are just undetermined. Most gamblers do not know. They're just completely undetermined. I don't know if I can see the comments. I'm not sure, but I can try to look at the comments here. What? Can you shout out my boy Sticky Britches? You talking to nobody, bro? Huh? Do you put from the rough? Hello, I say hello to you. If you're out there, if you're struggling, a gambler. I'm talking to gamblers. Are you a struggling gambler? Are you part of a gang? Do I look like I'm part of a gang to you? Do I look? I'm not trying to be rude in no ways. I'm talking to the gamblers out there that are struggling, that want to get free from gambling. You don't want to buy the sports, you don't want to buy the lotteries anymore. You're done buying scratchers. You're done betting on the pokies. You have been on the casino online, the your phone, your tablet, or your computer, what have you. And you're tired. You're tired. You're tired. That's who I'm talking to here right now. And if I was in front of you, if you was in front of me, if we were doing a coaching session, I would be, the goal is, again, to get you, the goal is to get you on the other side, to get you to where you want to be, right? Maybe not where you want to be, but maybe where you need to be. And you have to be in on it. If you're not in on it, then it's not going to work. That's the power of two. That's the power of two. That's the power of having somebody in your life, somebody that you can trust, somebody that you can really depend on, a partner, accountability partner, if you will. That's really what it's all about. If you don't succeed, if you're trying to quit gambling and you're not quitting your gambling, if you want to quit gambling and you want to stop the whole nightmare, this whole thing with gambling is like it's like you're stepping into an abyss. You're stepping into an abyss of darkness. And once you're in there, let me just say, it's a bitch. Once you're in that dark abyss, if you're a problem gambler. Let me see if I see somebody. I put up an interactive positive comment. Let's see if he notices or if he goes on another yapping marathon. Yapper. Am I a yapper, Joa? Is that what you're trying to call me, man? You're calling me a yapper. Well, I can appreciate that. I think to some degree you're a yapper too. You're a yapper because you eat, don't you? You probably like hamburgers. So, like most yappers out there, I like a good hamburger myself. Onions. You like onions on your burger? Yeah, I gotta have them onions. Most people don't like them onions. But yappers like burgers, They like them well done burgers with the onion and the pickles. In my case, I like them wrapped in lettuce in particular. So anyways, yeah, I guess I'm a yapper. Anyhow, I feel like when you're addicted to gambling, it's driven by urge to get rich, easy. It starts with discipline to not gamble and try to get money the correct way. Yep. I am a yapper. Yep. I talk nonsense a lot. True. Yeah, you do, Joe. We all do. I do too. So at least I admit it. But one thing about me, at least I'm not gambling anymore. I used to be a gambler, and it was It's like jumping into the, to me, gambling, when I think about it right now, it's like one time I fell, maybe it was twice, I'm not sure, but I fell into a thorn bush one time. Have you ever fallen into a thorn bush? If you've ever fallen into a good thorn bush, it's quite the experience. So when I think about gambling, it's almost like I'm falling back into that. I'm falling right back into that thorn bush. I don't like falling into the thorn bush, especially if the thorns are big, thick ones. So that's what gambling's like. And it's the greediness that we have inside. We don't want to admit it, but it's the truth. We gamble for a couple of reasons, but then we gamble because we become an addict. You become an addict to the dopamine, to the challenge, to the high and the lows. That's what happens. We're looking for the same thing, but unfortunately we get caught in the trap of lies, the gambling pit. So it is because we want money and we're lazy, right? You're lazy. Most people are lazy. They don't want to work. I'm a bit lazy too, even though I have worked most of my 58 years. So you gamble and you go into the casino and you're all smiles in the casino, man. You're like, what? I remember the first time I walked into a casino, and I started gambling when I was like 13 years of age. So let me yap for a little bit. 13 years. How did you start gambling? I used to gamble with the old guys that used to drink Budweiser back there in the where the basketball courts was, in the conchas, back in the projects where I lived when I grew up on the east. So we would gamble with dice. And who knows if those guys had fake dice. They probably did, because I witnessed fights and stuff like that. I mean, the guys would there was money, right? And you got these guys passing around a stogie. They're drinking beer. They're all drunk, 6, 7 of us. I'm the little runt of the bunch. I'm throwing my $2 in there thinking I'm going to get some money. Yeah, right. You got money floating, though. You always want, you know what I'm saying? You want your hand, and it's greed, man. It's lust. It's sin. It's perversion is what it is. At 13 years of age, I was down there. Did I ever win any money? I don't think so. But anyways, the first time that I walked into a casino, the very first time that I walked into a casino, I was like, man, what is this? I remember I was like, this can't be real. This can't be real. I was like in there. Woo! I was like, yeah. And I don't know if I hit a jackpot. I might have hit a jackpot. I think I did. I think I might have hit that first time something. But I didn't win every time. And next thing you know, it's like $100, $300 here, $400 over here, $500. Every once in a while I would win $1,000, $2,000, right? $2,500. Or I would win $700. And then I'd go back. I'd put it right back in the machine. $300, $200. You win a jackpot and you get away from the casinos for at least 2 days, man. That's as strong as you can hold it, maybe 2 days. You won a jackpot, right? 2,500 or whatever, 3,000. And next thing you know, the next 2 or 3 days in a row, you're going down. 300 loss, 400 loss, 700. And that's how it was with me. And you know what? It was a nightmare. It became a nightmare. It became an illusion. I spent a lot of time in that labyrinth. Call it a labyrinth, because that's exactly what it is. If you've ever walked into the casino, the place is like a labyrinth, man. I used to go to the same place and I would get lost. Isn't that weird? I would go to the same place. Of course, I was always kind of boozed up a little bit here and there. And of course, I've watched the casino, the one that I used to go to in particular. I've been to many of them, but the one that I used to go to in particular was just growing. I think I probably might have given several thousands of dollars to that casino for its expansion, because I saw it, and it's like every time I would go to the casino, it was like I'd get lost up there. It was like a labyrinth, and that's just the way they create the carpet. That's the way they put the colors in the carpet, the designs in the carpet, and the way they set up the machines. And then it's weird because sometimes they'll put like these fake windows. You ever see fake windows on the casino? They're fake windows. When you go on the outside, you look, but then when you go on the inside, they're not. There's no windows. There's no clock. Cluck. There's no clock. Cluck. Cluck. Right? I felt like a cluck in there. One time I got into a fight with this guy over the machine. It was like it became like a woman, you know. I had to show up at the casino just at the right time to make sure I got that machine. It was a 5-cent machine, I remember. And I played the dollar machines, the $5 machines. Never hit. I've gone into the big high limit, and I've played hundreds of dollars in the high limit rooms, and I've never hit. Yeah, I've hit jackpots, 2,000, 2,500. I think the most I hit was $4,500. But I've never hit, 60. And I've talked to people on my YouTube channel. I've talked to nurses. I've talked to business owners. I've talked to college students that told me. I remember this one nurse in particular. She said she won like $63,000 and then lost it, like in a matter of a couple of weeks, going back to the same place. Beautiful young lady from the East Coast I connected to by phone through my website. And another lady, I won't mention, where she's another nurse. She's another one. I haven't heard from her. Seems like these nurses, a lot of these nurses and students seem to be really, they come around a lot, my channel, for some reason. Anyhow, I hope they're doing better, those ones that I've talked to in the past. So that was me also. I was in it big time. Deep, right in the swamp. President Trump, former President Trump said he came to drain the swamp. I was in the swamp a couple years ago. And yeah, I had to drain the swamp. I had to absolutely drain the swamp. So how about you on the other side? Are you draining your swamp? City by the Bay. Wish I could go back and just not do it, huh, Joe? Yeah. What's up, City by the Bay? Peppermill, Reno. Yeah, I remember the Peppermill, Reno. I used to drive up there. It was like 5 hours from the Bay Area. I used to drive all the way up from Hayward to Reno. One time I was driving a Volkswagen. I remember a Volkswagen V6, VR7. Oh, I love that car. But man, I used to take some bad lashings, some bad lickings right there up in Reno at the Peppermill. There was coins. It was big coins back then. It was like big old coins like this, and they would drop in buckets, and we would have to carry a big bucket around, a lot of buckets. Big old coins, and they would drop down and hit a metal tray. Bang, 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 bang. And there was a lot of those coins, if you remember the Peppermill back in the Reno days. This was back in the 90s, man. Was it the early 90s? Sometime in the 90s? Yeah, then I started going up to Reno. And I used to drive up there, and man, I used to come back from Reno crying. I'm doing it again. I'd smack myself And I had to park on the side of the road sometimes because I was so tired. Barely had gas to get home. Oh, I can tell you about the pepper mill up in Reno. I would drive up there sometimes up there in the winter. It wasn't winter in the Bay Area, but it was winter up there. I would drive. I don't know how long I did that run for, but I did it for quite some time. Every weekend, it was like about 5-hour drive from the Bay Area to Reno. And then I'd leave around 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, just wasted. Completely wasted, man. I'd get on the road. Every once in a while I would have a winning. Yeah, I would win. I'd cash in those buckets full of coins. I'd have a couple $100. But most of the time, I would leave my paycheck up there. I'd go up there and leave my paycheck. I was so addicted, man. It was an escape. I had problems. I had other challenges. I had relationship problems. I had children problems. I had relationship problems. I had financial problems. I couldn't escape it. That's how I tried to escape it all. Through that and other means of doing it. Yeah, no more. Well, I appreciate how you taken the yap comment. I'm happy you broke your pattern of gambling. You gained my respect. Just keep going, bro. Thank you, Joe. I hope you subscribe to the channel. Support the mission, Soldiers of Self-Mastery community here since 2016. I'm going to keep going. And I've got a lot of work to do, man. I kind of feel like I've been failed by a lot of people. Because I feel like I haven't failed myself. I've maintained my journey of no gambling. That was my goal, and that's been kept all along. Maybe I have missed it in other areas, I don't know, but it just seems like I've given so much over the last few years of my time and money into this mission, and I've had some support, very little support from a few people that I thought really were going to be there. I really thought we're going to push in, and I thought we're going to be part, and I'm realizing it's just not the way it is, man. Unless you got a lot of money to be paying people to do stuff for you, most people are not going to hang around unless they truly really believe in what you're doing and they feel supported in some way, I guess. I wonder where those that I have supported over the years have gone. I know a lot of people have fallen away over the last year since we come out of COVID. They have fallen back into the casinos. They've gone back in there. They've gone back into the lottery. They've gone back into the sports betting. Who knows? They might be sitting on top of a palm tree betting on a rooster. Yeah, you never know. Somebody might be sitting on top of a palm tree, some wood product, betting on a horse running backwards, trying to make 500, trying to make 1,000. It's crazy. That's the world that I came out of. Do I still gamble? Well, I buy gold and silver. I buy a little bit of crypto here and there. I guess you can say I still gamble to a certain degree. But at least I'm a lot smarter about it this time around, where I know exactly what I'm doing. In the casino, in the slot machines, the roulette table, the baccarat, the drac room, unless you have an insight story to some of that, you're going to go in there and they're going to suck you like a brand new Kirby out of the factory with no filter. You can get sucked right into that turbine. And that's it. That's where you go. Your money goes, your family. Yeah, it's you throw your family right into it too, because once you get sucked up into it, you don't care. You throw your family, your children, you throw your mortgage, your money, your house payments, your car payment, your child support, whatever have you, and then the credit cards. Of course, the bank, you're always hitting the bank. The bank is one of the first one that goes. That's the first one that you hit with one of those grenades, man. The bank account. The last, is the line of credit that you have with family, right? Sometimes you got a little bit of credit with family, right? Brother John, you got Brother John. You might give you a little bit here and there, but eventually that line of credit gone. And like I said earlier, you go down into this dark abyss. It's a horror story. By the grace of God, I made it out, to be honest with you. By the grace of God, I'll sit here and humble myself in front of the whole world and tell you the truth. By the grace of God, I humble myself, and I made it out of that hell, that gambling hell. And I read the Bible. I'm not a church thumper. I read the Bible. I do my best to read the scriptures. I fail there. I pray. I do pray. I'm not going to sit here and lie to people. That's what I did. Journaled. I got in front of the mirror. I did mirror talk. I journaled every day. I journaled. I wrote. Journaled. And I self-talked myself. And I did all this stuff, meditation, and who knows whatever hallucinogenic drugs I've done along the way to get myself free. But I got myself free. And I'm going to get you free on the other side if that's what you're looking to do. I'm going to get you free on the other side. Somehow, somehow I have this crazy idea that I can help somebody get totally free from gambling. It's a crazy idea. It is. I created a YouTube channel. I created some product. I even wrote a few books. Would you believe that? I've got a few books I've written on Amazon. My newest copy of the Little Red Book is on Amazon. So I wrote a few books. I've got some tools out there. I've got some books. I've got some videos that, some boot camp videos that you can watch and go through and learn some crap from. Some good crap. I think they're good videos. They're out there on the internet. And I offer some one-on-one coaching. Sit with me for a little bit. One-on-one, 45 minutes, and we can talk about your problem. We can talk about your struggle. We can talk about your failures. We can talk about that because I've been through it. I know exactly what most people are going through. So we can talk about these things. What is it that you want to achieve? What are you tired of? What are you tired of? What is it that you're tired of? That's what I offer when it comes to coaching. I offer a genuine reality, an honesty, and an accountability. And that's worth paying for. That's absolutely worth paying for. All right, I got to get off the airwaves. Hey, there's Jimbo, all the way from Tucson, Arizona. I was told that people want help, and then when asking silence, they get irritated. Anthony Castillo, you helped me quit gambling 2 years ago. Thank you, Anthony. Wow. Really? 2 years ago? Man, I hope that you're still gamble free. I hope that you are, just like me. Anthony Castillo, thank you for sharing that, man. That's humble. Right? That's, for me, it's like eating humble pie. Humble pie. What do you mean, humble pie? Well, for you to share that news with me, of course, you did your part. You did your part. And your part was more than mine. So I might have helped you. I might have supported you. But you had to take the reins, right? You had to drive that steering wheel. You had to take control of that steering wheel, joystick, shifter, whatever you want to call it. You had to take control of it in your life. So thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. Yeah, I've been here for almost 30 minutes. I had quite I haven't been live like this in a while. It's been a while. Been probably a while. So I thought it was good for me to go live. And once again, I'm doing my best to revamp. I'm doing my best to upgrade, if you will, optimize, if you will, the YouTube, the videos that we're putting out during the week. It's going to be more just myself. I don't care about editing anymore. Don't care about the music in the background. Don't care about none of that stuff. It's just going to be me sharing once in a while and going live and supporting you on the other side, supporting you if indeed you are the person that is, you're troubled with gambling to no end. You're troubled and you stumbled. You came across my channel by divine appointment, by occasion. You stumbled here, what have you. It was a coincidence that you landed here. Nevertheless, you're here, man. All right, Anthony, thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right, I'm going to get off the airwaves here. It's Thursday night. We're going to be going live on Sunday. Got a live episode on Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard, right there. Stockton, out of Stockton, California. Jim, out of Tucson, Arizona, might be with us on Sunday. And we're going to talk about a few things on Sunday. I believe we're going to take on this topic, you know, self gratification. Why do you do what you do? Right? Why are you doing what you're doing? Self gratification. There's a difference between delayed and delayed gratification and instant self gratification, which is what we're all stuck with. Santos, how can I break this thing, man? Instant, I hate it. I'm doing it, but I hate it because I know it's exactly what it is. I think about it for a few minutes, but then I give in. I give in. Oh, I give in. Pound myself. What can I do, Santos? Well, we're going to talk about that Sunday. We're going to take on that subject. Instant gratification. What is it? Let me see. Can I say it? Satisfecho. Yeah, satisfecho. Right? Self-gratisfecho. Self-gratification. Who knows? I might know a little Latin in there someplace. Well, I am Puerto Rican. I do have some Taino Indian in me. And who knows what else. Anyhow. Who's with me? Who's with me? Let me see. A few more. All right. Amen. Danny, average Italian from Boston. Danny, what's up, Danny? Make sure you guys subscribe there. Subscribe to the channel. So when I go live, we hit it hard. We hit this thing hard. And if you're a gambler, little by little, we'll turn you into a non-gambler, right? That's the goal. If you're coming to my community, Soldiers of Self-Mastery, S.O.S.M, Soldiers of Self-Mastery, S.O.S.M.C, community, Soldiers of Self-Mastery community, S.O.S.M.C, since 2016. All right, I think I've said enough. I got to get off the airwaves. Appreciate, and will I see you at the top on my very next one.